What's happening, guys? Luke back with another video to help rebuild high value men. Today we're going to be discussing the topic of money and specifically how to get yourself into a comfortable financial position. Now this is going to be a different number for everybody, but what I've done is a bit of research on sort of where people sit in terms of savings, and I've come up with a figure of between $30,000 and $50,000 in savings, and that's the goal, obviously, to get to a point where you feel financially comfortable. So you're not stressing out financially, but this also doesn't mean you're going to have financial freedom by any means, okay? You need quite a bit more money for that. But if most people had $30,000 to $50,000 in their bank accounts, life would be a whole lot less stressful. So it's a good target to aim for. And today I'm going to be discussing a few of the techniques that I think are going to be really beneficial and going to be obviously very actionable, so you can pretty much start to implement these from now after this video to eventually reach your $30,000 or $50,000 target of savings. Okay, it's always good to have a bit of backup money in your account to fall back on if, say, you lose a job, if your business folds, if you have an emergency. And that's why I think $30,000 to $50,000 to me is probably what I would say is a good, it's probably a little bit over what you need, but that's what we're going for. You know, maybe you could get away with having $10,000 in your account, but we're trying to get to a place where you actually feel, you know, financially comfortable and you're not stressing about money. So let's jump into the techniques that I've used to limit my spending a little bit without going too far and, you know, completely making my whole life boring. These have really helped me tighten up my spending and have exceeded really this goal of $50,000 in savings, because I've just continued these on. You know, I reached that $30,000 to $50,000 in savings target, and I just kept playing that game, and as you will. And let's jump into it. So the first one is you need to start canceling any unused subscriptions, because this, you know, over the years we sign up to subscription services, whether that's Netflix, Spotify, gym membership, and we tend to forget because they're only small payments every month, but we tend to forget that they're even coming out. So what you need to do is a bit of an audit on your statement and find out if you're paying for anything that you shouldn't be paying for. This doesn't always need to be subscriptions either. This could be, you know, a payment that you're making to another service or something that you just don't need anymore and you can cut out. Okay, so have a look at your bank statement and work out what you really don't need, what you're literally paying money out for absolutely no reason. And this is going to help you save a few extra dollars a week quite quickly. This can be, you know, you could do this within a couple of hours and save money instantly. Okay. Number two is set up automatic transfers with a certain amount of savings transferred out into another account that potentially has a lock on it. If you don't want to put a lock on it, that's fine. It depends what your situation is, but you should have a transfer coming out of your account into at least one other account that removes it from your normal operating account, so at least you're saving some money each week. Okay, now this, again, like I said, it all depends on what you earn as to how much you can save every single week, but do as much as you can. You really want to put a bit of pressure on yourself. If you're worried about not having enough money to spend during the week and operate on, don't put a lock on that account, and you can dip into it if you really have to, but try and avoid that at all costs. The next one, and this is a really big one, especially for young guys, is overspending on food. I know I used to do it. Sometimes I still get into bad patterns and I do it now, but overspending on food is the easiest way to, you know, go backwards financially, because you can spend $30 to $40 on one meal. You do that, you know, 3, 4, 5 times a week. You're talking upwards of $150, $200 a week just on food. And that's probably just lunches during the day. You've also got dinner, you've also got drinks, whatever it is, you know, maybe you go out on the weekends. Like, this food can be one of the biggest expenses. So if you can limit that by not spending money on crap food during the day and just going to the supermarket or the groceries and getting something, you know, cheap and healthy from the supermarket, you know, it also helps, you know, you're not feeding your body crap food. You can go get actual decent nutritious food from the supermarket. So that's a big one. And I started saving, like I said, about $150 to $200 a week. That is huge on just food. And I was obviously still eating. I used to eat tuna and rice. I know it sounds pretty boring, but it's healthy. And a couple little snacks throughout the day, some protein bars. You can almost eat for like, $10 for lunch, if not even less, if you get everything from the supermarket. So stop spending money on food, stop wasting money on food. The next one is stop consuming drugs and alcohol. All right. Now this might sound like common sense to a lot of you, but there are a lot of you I know that love partying just like I did, and the amount of money that I used to spend on drugs and alcohol was absolutely out of control. Okay, it's almost depressing to think about how much I was spending. And if you really calculated what you're spending, I'm sure you're in denial about it, because I know I was. You don't like to think about what the amount of money you're spending. It's probably good exercise to actually calculate it, because I know back in the day I was probably spending close to $1,000, $800 to $1,000 a weekend or every couple of weekends on drugs and alcohol, going out, taxis, crazy money. All right, so I know that's an easy one said than done. It's easier to say just quit those two than just to do it, because obviously that's all attached to a social life you have, mates, and that's also really important. But you've got to really work out like what is important to you. Is just smashing drugs and putting down cans all weekend really what you want to do forever? Are you willing to risk your future for that type of lifestyle? Now, it's like I said, it's easier said than done, but have a think about that. If you've got any questions on that, ask me, because this was a big part of my life, and I've got a lot to say on that. I'll do more videos on that in the future. The next one is don't make large purchases that depreciate in value. Now, this one isn't as common, and I see so many people making the mistake of doing this, like even, at my age, I'm 30 now, buying fucking cars that are worth $70,000 and they've got no savings. It just fucking blows my mind. I don't understand what the hell's happening. Like, how does it make sense to a person to go out and buy a $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 car when you're just getting by paying your mortgage, or you've got no savings? It just makes absolutely no sense. I mean, it makes no sense to buy a depreciating asset at all unless you can buy it in cash, because let's say you spend $50,000 on a car. As soon as you leave out of the dealership, it depreciates probably by $10,000, all right? Because it's a second-hand car now, and it goes into the second-hand car market. You also pay on that loan, so your car's worth $40,000 now. Instantly, you've lost $10,000. You pay on that $50,000, depending on the interest rate, you're probably going to pay, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 in interest. So, like, you got to do the numbers here. Like, it is a huge waste of fucking money to go out and buy a car. Now, granted, I fucked up and I made this mistake when I was, early 20s. I went out and bought a nice new ute. I still have that car now. The only difference is, and it was a benefit that I wasn't really aware of, and luckily my mum knew a bit about accounting and tax, is I could write that thing off because I'm a tradie. Lucky it worked out like that for me, because most people it doesn't work out. You can't go, like, if you go buy a nice, whatever it is, a sedan, you can't claim it. No, the ATO will not let you claim that. The tax department aren't going to let you just claim any car. I was just lucky that I was a tradie and I bought a ute. If I bought a BMW or whatever, that's literally the only car I could have claimed was a ute. So I was lucky that I bought that ute. Being a 4-wheel drive as well, I got to go camping in it. It worked out well for me, luckily. But I didn't plan that at the start. Don't make that same mistake I did. Actually, go and plan it. If you can write it off as a tax deduction, good. Maybe it's an okay purchase. But if you can't, it's going to depreciate in value. By the time the loan's up, 5-7 years, it's going to be worth fuck all. Like, is it really worth your your future just to be driving around in a nice car just to show your mates that no one gave a fuck that I had a nice car. No one cared, you know. The girls don't care. My family don't give a fuck. No one cares, right? The whole thing wears off in like a couple months, you know. It's not worth it. So don't go wasting your money on cars. If you can and you get some good savings, put it into appreciating assets, not depreciating purchases like cars, fucking boats, anything really that's not like, you know, an asset. Okay. And the last one, and this is a bit of an interesting one because it's got 2 points, is go start a business. Because not only are you going to help increase your income, you're also going to have no fucking time to spend any money anywhere else, because business is so consuming that you don't have any time. You can't go out on the weekends. I have a business. I work 7 days a week. I don't have any time to go spend my money, so I save all of it, other than like the food I need to survive so I don't die, and you know, the absolute bare minimum of expenses that I have. You know, starting a business was not only the best decision for the fact that I love being in business and it makes me money, but I just don't spend any money because I don't have any time. So have a think about that one, because that's a bonus one that actually might help. Because business can, in my opinion, will completely change your life. If you're a business entrepreneurial type person, yeah, I'd go check out my other videos on that, because yeah, that'll help you kill two birds with one stone, increase your income and help limit the amount of time you have to spend money. All right, guys, so I'll go back through those quick again. Cancel any unused subscriptions that you've got. You've probably got more than you think. Set up automatic transfers, so you transfer out a certain money and put that into a savings account. Don't ever touch it. Don't overspend on food, because I know you are. And stop consuming drugs and alcohol. If you're a party animal like I was, really consider where your life is going, because I should have stopped partying a lot earlier. That's the only thing I probably regret in my life. The next one is don't make large purchases that depreciate. So don't go buy a nice car. You don't need it. Girls don't give a fuck. You're not cool. And start a business, all right? Because you'll increase your income and you'll have no time to do anything else in your life, because all your whole life will be business and you won't have any friends, or yeah, that's pretty much it, all right? And you'll fucking love it, trust me. Whether you think you will or not, I used to be the most social person in this fucking, you know, more than anyone I know. I started a business, I pretty much have no friends, and I fucking love it, all right? Hope that helps, guys. The goal here is 30 to 50,000. It doesn't, you don't have to get to that. I'm just saying it's a good sort of goal to push towards. You know, starting, you know, if you've got no savings, aim for 1,000 and then just keep working your way up until you get to that $30,000 or $50,000 mark, okay? That's where you're going to start to feel really comfortable, you know, and you're going to stop thinking about money, because if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure that you're going to be stressing about money quite a bit, otherwise you wouldn't be watching it. So these will help you to get to that point. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.